Hello, this is Kenneth Miner. Again, this is week three, reflective journal. Week three is a grad student, still full time as a staff nurse in the emergency room. Um, this week has been quite challenging, but rewarding at the same time. We've seen a lot of patients, a lot of traumas in the emergency room. The content has been great. We had our classroom, virtual classroom setting this week was always interesting, kind of putting a voice to a name. Kind of enjoy that. But going to this reflective journal, this week we began to discuss some of the cultural aspects behind an APN, as well as some of the legislative things as well, scope of practice and things of that nature. But something I really want to dive into is the cultural aspect of the APN and healthcare in general. As I said, I work in the emergency room and has worked in the. I still work PRN in the trauma ICU, aka the surgical ICU. And one thing is with the ER, you see a multitude of people, ages, backgrounds, etc., etc. And that's one thing that's really attracted me to the ER. In the readings from the that we were assigned, a lot of it talked about being cultural competent and being understanding uh, everyone's backgrounds. There's a particular portion of the book that said, uh, "Put yourself in their shoes." Interesting fact: I got engaged with my best friend in Italy, and being over there, having I speak English and no Italian, I just felt uh, you know useless and at some points, and it felt like I always needed someone to help me and extremely independent. So I can only imagine how some foreigners come over here and I've been in a situation. I'm in a triage room and they're trying to get questions across, and we're both just looking at each other, just hopeless almost. But luckily at my facility, we do have translators, do have things that we can get across. However, not every facility has that. We won't have access to that. So it's very important, I believe, as we start to transition into more of the provider role, that for one, educate ourselves, learn some basics, uh, especially if I'm from Texas and we have a lot of Hispanics here. So me sharpening up on some of my Spanish skills that I learned in college would be extremely beneficial to my patients and moving forward. And I read some interesting passages as well, talking about you know health literacy. Um, that's interesting because it had a passage saying that uh, this patient didn't know how to take the medicine, so she administered it in the wrong route. So just thinking about things going forward and trying to envision myself in that provider role, um, taking all aspects in effect. Some cultures do not believe in just taking medicines. They try more of their herbal remedies, and it's up to we need to respect that and do our best to educate on the pros and cons towards that. Inevitably, they have the choice to do whatever they feel like they need to do, but it's still not just our obligation. But I would hope that you would just want to ensure that your patient uh, leaves leaves you in better shape than they came into uh, the correct medicines, right? The education behind that. So I just believe if everyone in this class, especially myself, if we take these readings serious, and especially with this being cultural competent, when we do enter the role of providers, uh, that every patient that we encounter feels comfortable and respected as well. Uh, and again, it just was an interesting week, interesting topics. Again, this week was extremely challenging, balancing the school work and with work. But I did enjoy this week just because this is something I'm passionate about. Um, I went to school, went to college. Both my roommates were Hispanic, and some spoke a little broken English. So seeing kind of them go through some of those things, I can only imagine how it would feel like in the healthcare setting, just them feeling hopeless. So I'm glad that we read this, got some education on it. Just now it's time to start applying it, even as staff nurses. That way, when we do step in that provider role, it's not just something new. Again, this is Kenneth Miner. This is week 3 of Reflective Journal. See you next time.